Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Culture Club podcast. My name is Oscar Dalton. I'm a currency collector, amateur vexillographer, and lover of cultures from all over the world. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I hope you learned something today, and if you're coming back, I thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Today's episode will be on Monaco. So without further ado, let's move on to the culture. The Principality of Monaco borders the Mediterranean Sea to the south and France to everywhere else. Before we move on, I just want to say how interesting I find it that we've done 2 micronations in the first 10 episodes. If you didn't know, I randomly select the countries from the continent. Right now I'm doing Europe, and I have a little picker wheel that that selects the countries. And it selected 2 micronations, the Vatican City, one, which was earlier, and Monaco, which we're doing today, and they're both micronations, which I just found amazing. The physical geography of this small country is mostly hilly and rocky. The size of Monaco is 0.81 square miles, or 2 square kilometers. This is about the same size as Central Park, and makes Monaco the 193rd largest country in the world. The permanent population of Monaco is 39,000. Monaco is a melting pot of many cultures, with 16.6% of their population being, and I quote, an unknown mix of ethnicities, end quote. That was from the Monegasque census in 2018. The biggest individual ethnic groups are Monegasque, with 32% of the population, French, with 20%, Italian with 15%, 2%, Swiss with 2%, German with 2%, Russian with 2%, Dutch with 1%, and Moroccan with 1%. Around 86% of Monegasque citizens are Christian, 12% are atheist or agnostic, and 2% are Jewish. Of the Monegasque Christians, 81% are Catholic, and the other 6% are some other non-specified Christian group. The official language of Monaco is French, and there are 4 other frequently spoken languages, but I'll speak about that in the language segment. The capital of Monaco is Monaco, because Monaco is a city-state. The GDP, or gross domestic product, which is used to measure a country's wealth, of Monaco, is $7.76 billion US dollars, making Monaco the 154th wealthiest country in the world. Like a lot of small countries, Monaco doesn't have a HDI score, which we usually go over in this part of the podcast, so for all my HDI scale lovers listening, you'll have to come back next week. Monaco has no UNESCO heritage sites in its borders, but has one site on the UNESCO World Tentative List, which is a list of sites that might become World Heritage Sites in the future. The site in Monaco is the Les Alpes de la Méditerranée, and yes, I do take French. Monaco uses Central European Time, or UTC+1, and drives on the right side of the road. Those are all the basic facts I know about Monaco. So let's talk about some Monegasque government and subdivisions. The Principality of Monaco is a constitutional monarchy. This means that there is a monarch, but they hold little to no power. There are 3 branches to the Monegasque government. The 3 branches are the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The executive branch enforces the laws of Monaco, and consists of the Prince of Monaco, the Prince-appointed Minister of State, and the Council of Government, which is kind of like a Monegasque cabinet. The legislative branch is made up of the unicameral Parliament of Monaco. Unicameral means there is one House of Parliament, opposed to the American and British bicameral system. The Monegasque Parliament is called the National Council. There are 24 seats in the National Council. They use the party-list proportional representation system, where voters rank a bunch of parties that pick who goes to the National Council. An election happens in Monaco every 5 years, with the last one happening in 2018. Of the 24 seats, 21 belong to the Primo Party. And yes, there is an exclamation point at the end, so I will be saying it like that every time. The Primo Party is a center-right anti-EU party. The Horizon Monaco Party has 2 seats in the council. The Horizon Monaco Party is a radical right-winged monarchist anti-EU party. The final party in Monaco is the Union Monegasque Party. The Union Monegasque Party is a monarchist, anti-EU, and centrist party that's seen as a very radical socialist party by the Monegasque, even though it's not. You know what that sounds like? A stunted political system! America approves. The leader of Monaco is the leader of the biggest party. The current president of the National Council is Stéphane Valéry, but he's just like a Monegasque Speaker of the House, and doesn't have a lot of power. Monaco isn't separated into subdivisions because it's so small, so that'll conclude our government/subdivisions part of today's episode. Let's talk about some Monegasque languages. The official language of Monaco is French, but Monegasque, Italian, Occitan, and English are also frequently spoken. Today I'm just going to talk about the Monegasque and Occitan languages, because all the other languages will be covered in other episodes. Monegasque is an Indo-European language. Some linguists think that Monegasque is just a dialect of the Italian language of Genoan. The Monegasque language, or dialect, depending on who you ask, belongs to the Italic, Romance, Western, Gallo-Romance, and Gallo-Italic subfamilies. Some other Gallo-Italic languages are Occitan, Tyrolese, Tuscan, Sardinian, Corsican, and Sicilian. The other language we're talking about today is Occitan, which is spoken in the northwest of Italy and southern tip of eastern France. Occitan is very similar to Monegasque, so there's really no need to go into further details about Occitan. That's all I have for you on the languages of Monaco, so let's talk about some cold, hard cash. The Principality of Monaco uses the European euro, despite not being in the Eurozone, being represented by France, who is. The subdivision of the euro is the cent, aka the eurocent. The cent is 1/100th of the euro, which means that it takes 100 cents to make 1 euro. The ISO code of the euro is EUR, and the ISO number of the euro is 978. The frequently used banknotes of the euro are the 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 euro banknotes, alongside the less commonly used 200 and 500 euro notes. The frequently used coins of the euro are the 5, 10, 20, and 50 coins alongside the 1 and 2 euro coins. The 1 and 2 cent coins are also used, but not produced in France or Monaco. All Monegasque-specific coins are the 5, 10, 20 cent coins alongside the 1 and 2 euro coins. They are produced in the Paris Mint. That's all I could find on the Monegasque side of the euro, so let's talk about the Monegasque flag. The flag of Monaco is a horizontal bicolor, like the flag of Ukraine, with red on top and white on the bottom. It was adopted on the 4th of April, 1881. The colors represent the House of Grimaldi, the ruling house of Monaco. These have been the colors of the House of Grimaldi since at least 1339. The coat of arms of Monaco is a shield in the red and white diamond pattern, with an ornamental pattern with monks holding swords supporting the shields on the sides. Above the shield is a crown holding up a red curtain on the outside with white and black hearts on the inside. Under the shield and monks is a piece of paper with the words Dio Iuvante, the Grimaldi motto, which means with God's help in Latin. Wow, that was a mouthful. That's my take on the Monegasque flag and coat of arms. So let's talk about some Monegasque food. Oh wow, that was actually a perfect ending. Look at that. With Monaco being so small and a melting pot of cultures, they don't really have a distinct national identity, and this really shows when you look at what they eat. Their cuisine is a mix of French, Riverian, and Genoan foods. The French Riviera is the part of France that Monaco is in, and Genoa is the part of Italy that the House of Grimaldi are from. The national dish of Monaco is barbejuan. Barbejuan is an appetizer that is a fried flour shell, usually stuffed with ricotta cheese and Swiss chard, but is also sometimes stuffed with onion, rice, leeks, spinach, and Parmesan cheese. That's a dish that's more French-inspired. So let's take a look at a more Genoan-inspired dish, with everyone's favorite Italian dumpling, gnocchi! Gnocchi is a small, soft dumpling that is made of mashed potatoes and flour or semolina. It's often served with either a cream sauce or a meat sauce. Now, to round off this food segment, I'll talk about the only Monegasque food I could find, fugazi. Fugazi is a special Monegasque flatbread. The dough is made of flour, salt, and yeast and is usually topped with mozzarella cheese, nuts, and a mix of herbs, usually sage, rosemary, and thyme. That's all I could find on the food of Monaco, so let's talk about some Monegasque sports. The three most popular sports in Monaco are football or soccer, motorsports, and chess, which I just learned was considered a sport. Monaco is home to two huge car races, the Monte Carlo Rally and, the big one, the Monaco Grand Prix. Monaco is also home to the Monaco Marathon, the only marathon to go through three countries, Italy, Monaco, and France, and the Monte Carlo Open, a popular golf competition. The Monegasque national football team is not a member of FIFA or UEFA, but is a member of CONIFA, a collection of teams that aren't FIFA members, like the Vatican, Isle of Man, and the French province of Rhaetia. Monaco doesn't have a domestic football league, but they do have a team in the French pyramid. AS Monaco represents Monaco in the top French league, and they're the fourth most successful French team. That's all I know about sport in Monaco, so let's talk about some Monegasque myths. There is only really one well-known myth in Monaco, the legend of Saint Devota. It's a very religious story about a young woman devoting her life to God, and she died for her faith when the Dilicians arrived. She was taken on a boat bound for Libya, but Christian pirates took her body and gave it a proper burial. Because she was from Corsica, she became the patron saint of Corsica, and because of St. Devote Chapel built in Monaco in her honor, in 1070 she became the patron saint of Monaco. I'm not entirely what a patron saint is, because I'm not Christian, but it sounds pretty important. In the 1680s, a cult was made in Monaco and ritually sacrificed animals and sometimes even prisoners or people who weren't Christians in her name. That's the crazy story of Saint Devota. So let's talk about some Monegasque history.
Well, I can't believe it's already 30 years since her passing, and I still think of her.
That was Prince Albert of Monaco, the current ruler of Monaco, talking about his mother that passed away, and it was very sad, so I kind of cut it off early there. But I just found it very interesting because his mother was American. He learned to speak English as an American, and you could see he speaks, without an accent. I just found that fascinating. Well, let's get into the history. Monaco was a home to a loose confederation of tribes and chieftains 30,000 years ago, until the Ligurians came in and conquered for thousands of years. Sometime after that, the Phoenicians conquered and named the city Melkvart. They controlled Monaco until the 6th century BC, when the Greeks took over and gave Monaco its present-day name. Around 300 AD, the Romans took over and was controlled by the Western Roman Empire until 476, when Monaco switched hands to the HRE, or Holy Roman Empire. They were under the control of the semi-independent city-state of Genoa, while under control of the HRE. It was during this time when the Grimaldis, a Genoan and Sardinian royal family, took power in Monaco. The Kingdom of Sardinia took control of Monaco in 1814 when the HRE fell, but after Italy united, they gave Monaco to France, who controlled them until World War II, when Italy conquered it again, but it eventually became independent in the peace treaties of 1945. That's how Monaco got to their present-day borders. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of this week's episode. Sorry I skipped out on an episode last week. My life was very hectic. If you found it at all interesting, please like, subscribe, comment, or follow wherever you're listening. If you want to get in contact with me, you could find me at Culture Club Pod 1 on Twitter, at Oscar Dalton on Facebook, or you could comment on this episode on YouTube or SoundCloud. Stay tuned for next week's episode on Hungary, and I'll see you next week.